Wow, now that's a cover right there, huh?
Yeah.
Pantera, Cat Scratch Fever. It's a big day for the Pantera fans. Big day. It was 10 years ago. Dimebag Darrell died on stage, murdered on stage 10 years ago today. And I was trying to pick a Pantera song, and I'm like, man, we're going to just scare people. Not everyone that listens to us understands Pantera.
Yeah, it's a little heavy.
So you got to kind of try to find something that maybe, you know, a bunch of people would appreciate. I don't know. So
I play that on my Boneyard show a lot. I love that. I like a good cover.
Yeah.
I typically like covers that girls sing. My ex still attacks me for being such a fucking emo lesbian that I am. I like a good good acoustic girl covering a song. I'm really
like
the worst.
what? You got an example?
There was one cover, and literally this almost got me fucking drummed out of my relationship years ago.
Yeah.
Was I loved this cover of Umbrella that this other girl did. I forgot what her name was.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of humiliating to admit.
Do we know who?
I don't remember the name, no.
I don't mind the I don't
like
mind
the Sabbath covers.
Let's see.
I don't even remember. No, it's been years.
Well, she's got 21 million views on that one.
Is it Mandy Moore?
Wasn't Mandy, no.
Okay.
No.
Do you know anyone that covered Umbrella?
This was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be this one.
Which one?
This one, just because it's a girl with an acoustic guitar and it's got 21 million views.
It was Maria Digby. Is that the person's name?
What?
Yeah, it is. That's her.
Well, let me hear
I
this.
think you just
It was a fake name.
No, I think you said it was someone else.
No, I just said it was a girl.
Oh, I think you said Mandy Moore.
No,
Oh, you were joking? Okay.
I wasn't joking.
No,
she
because
did
that's
it
the
as
next one
well.
down.
Click the thing.
She only got 6 million.
This is not the video, though.
This is 22 million views she got for
Yeah, but
this.
this is not.
Marie Digby, though.
Yeah, but this is not the one. I'm telling you. No, this is not it because she's sitting in front of a couch.
We went from Pantera to this?
Yeah, we have to play it. I'm just saying what a fruit I am. Everybody knows that.
Was this the version, though?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. No, this is gay. This is gay. I like a much better version. I had better acoustic quality. I'm trying to talk over it. This reminds me of our friendships in the studio.
Right. If she was ugly, she would have half those views. You know that, right? Okay.
Yeah, she's quite pretty. As she sings that she should open her giant pussy flaps. Yeah, cool it up, Jim. I just wanted to toughen that version up a little.
I guess I don't mind the original.
I like the original.
Like I said, I'm a faggot for a pop song from time to time.
Yeah.
Those damn things can be catchy, right?
Yeah, like a toe tapper is nice.
But Pantera, there you go.
10 years ago, shot.
10 years ago. On stage by a fan, right?
Yeah, the guy was an obsessed. I think he blamed Dimebag for the breakup or for them not getting back because he was in Damage Plan at the time.
Okay. And that was a good band.
A really good band, yeah.
He was doing well with that.
And they were, this, I forget the guy's name. I think he was an I want to say he was an ex-Marine. It was in Ohio. And I don't have any of the stuff in front of me.
Right.
But a real piece of shit. Just a real, of course, we all know he's mentally ill.
Of course. Make it about yourself,
Yeah,
right?
and he shot him. And I think he was killed by security. I don't know if cops killed him or not, but he was killed on the scene.
It's a big day in music as far as that shit goes.
Oh, yeah.
Today's the Lennon Day, too.
Yeah, the worst insult ever?
Yeah, Paul McCartney, he hasn't spoke up about this much over the years, but basically he's calling him a jerk. That's all he could say? That he's a jerk for what he did? What's the exact quote?
The jerk of all jerks.
The jerk of all jerks.
Do you have the video of that? He was in Jonathan Ross, and that's a huge show in England. And he's actually a really good talk show host. I've gone on and watched interviews he's done.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Paul McCartney has called John Lennon's killer, Mark Chapman, the jerk of all jerks. Speaking on a British television show, we're finding that now. The former Beatle also said he felt very lucky to have repaired the rift between him and Lennon before Lennon was gunned down outside the New York apartment 34 years ago today. Speaking on the Jonathan Ross show, McCartney said, Chapman, the phrase kept coming into my head, the jerk of all jerks. It was just like, this is just a jerk. This is not even a politically a guy, I guess it should say. Okay, hold on. This is just a jerk. This is not even a guy, it should say. Okay, politically motivated. It's just some total random thing.
But to call someone a jerk, is that the best you can do? He gunned down Lennon?
Yeah, your writing partner.
Yeah.
You guys fucking wrote a few tunes, a few ditties.
This guy's not A-OK with me.
Right.
Easy, Paul.
He's a jerk.
Language restrictions.
He's a jerk.
Yeah. This guy's not the cat's meow. Easy, Paul.
Do we have the clip? Let's hear the clip.
So sad that, I wasn't going to see him again and we weren't going to hang up. And, for me, the biggest thing was that the guy who took his life, the phrase kept coming in my head, jerk of all jerks. It was just like, this is just a jerk. This is not even a guy politically motivated. It's just some total random thing. I go, hey, Pop.
Just to damage the broken person.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, God. Paul
Terrible.
McCartney.
First of all, you learned how to say all these amazing things in love songs,
right.
and you're
right.
such a beautiful creator with the language, and that's the best you can come up with.
Just call him a jerk.
Oh my God, this guy wrote Yesterday.
Right, and that's all you could come up with for John Lennon.
Yeah, Let It Be.
John Lennon's killer. The jerk of all jerks.
Oh, he's the jerk. He's a bit of an asshat.
Yeah,
Terrible.
It really isn't
What a
good.
terrible insult. How about the guy's human garbage? Or, you know what I mean? He's scum. It's just something that has some fucking bite to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Jerk.
I don't think jerk does it. Unless maybe in their country it's... No? Probably not.
Even in England.
Even in England, it's not that powerful.
It's just soft.
You sound kind of wimpy when you say, you're a jerk.
Kind of wimpy, yeah.
Let's say hi to Eric in Ohio. Eric. Let's go, Eric. No?
Hey, what's up, Bob?
Hey, man.
Hey, I was on my way to that show at the El Rosa Villa. My buddy was getting off work late, and we were running late to the show, and we missed it probably maybe by 10, 15 minutes, man. It was absolutely insanity that night.
Dimebag Darrell. So you were almost there.
Almost there, man. We was almost there.
I'm not a big fan of the almost there stories.
Yeah.
I know, bud.
Everyone has the I was almost there story.
Yeah. I was almost a blowjob, sir. Thank God. Get it?
Yeah, you're right. It was just like I was right there, but it was still one of those days that we still talk about it all the time around here.
Sure, I would imagine you would. All right, thank you, Eric. I appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Allegedly.
So that's two.
Allegedly.
It's the John Lennon anniversary. Is it okay to call it the anniversary? People have problems with that as well.
Sure.
All right. I mean, not every anniversary is a good anniversary, right?
Yeah, it's not like we're playing thematic fun music for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
John Lennon, 34 years ago today. Dimebag Darrell, 10 years ago today.
I didn't realize they were on the same fucking day.
Yeah, well, and we got a third one. The good old Hell's Angels with the Rolling Stones. 4 people dying, including one stabbed by a Hell's Angel. That was 40.
Altamont?
Yeah, that was 45 years ago. 45 years ago. Wow.
But the weird thing is, I wonder if there's something about this time. This time of year is kind of depressing and shitty for people. So I wonder if that's why they snap more.
I don't know.
That's weird. Two big guys on the same day.
And then the Rolling Stones thing as well. That's 3 huge things on one day.
Wow.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
Uneventful. I went to Harrisburg. The gigs were good.
Well,
I kind of wanted to get some stuff done for this. Try the order of the material, and it was great. We didn't do much though. Harrisburg, there's not a shitload to do.
Oh, so you're trying to do more stuff? That's good.
Oh yeah, I mean the sets. I did 2 of the longest sets I've done.
No, I mean you're trying to do stuff besides just comedy.
Yeah, I mean, but there's nothing to do there. I mean, there's just not much to do.
Right. What do they do up there? I bet you they do like mud racing, Sam.
They do nothing.
I bet
there.
mud racing is huge in Harrisburg.
A lot of 4x4s.
A lot of 4x4s.
No, they literally just, I don't know. We stayed in the hotel, we went out to the gym, and that was it. It was really unexciting. I have terrible road stories. I don't do anything. I just kind of go to the
Every
gym.
Monday you should have just an amazing road story, and you just don't because you like to just chill out in a hotel room.
I slept late. I'll tell you what I didn't do. I didn't get jerked off. I didn't do anything dirty.
Well, you texted me, and it sounded like you had sex on stage or something.
Oh, yeah, you misread my text, I think.
Well, you might have missed...
Oh, I said it right. Yeah, I said it wrong.
You might have... You wrote, I was asking you about your weekend, and you wrote, was really good. The Friday early show was one of the best sex I've had in a long time.
Sweet.
Yeah. You had
some
sex
fucking pussy on stage.
You had sex in front of everyone. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That'll get the numbers up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was uneventful.
Can you imagine if you just did that? Just had sex on stage instead of doing a set?
Just put on a fuck show.
Yeah, just put on a fuck show.
My cock struggles when it's just me and a girl with my door locked.
Imagine on stage in a full house.
It would just be humiliating. I wouldn't be able to function. Wouldn't be able to get a rod. People would see me tweedling my nipples and not participating with the girl. It's really a detached experience for sex. I don't know how to connect.
I got talked into, and this is going to piss off people, but I did want to go, then I got tired, and then I got talked into it by Roland. What, you know what I'm going to say?
I know what you're going to say.
What's wrong with a couple of men going to a hotel? What happened?
I saw the Foo Fighters at Irving Plaza.
You twisted your arm, huh?
I wanted to go the whole time. I was excited all week, and then, just getting tired. It was like a 10 o'clock start, which is just way too late for me with 2 little kids, even on a Friday night. And then Roland started texting me, and I'm like, all right. And I'm so glad I went. That was my first Foo Fighters show. I can't believe I get to see a lot of shows, and that was the first time I saw the Foo Fighters. They're ridiculously good live.
Where were they?
At Irving Plaza, just a tiny little room here in New York City. You don't get that opportunity often. They only do that. Well, I guess they do it they've been doing it because of Sonic Highways, but
it's still a rare opportunity because so many people want to see it.
Right.
I mean, they could do small rooms every day, and you still wouldn't get to see.
Were there small? Was it sold out?
Oh boy, was it! And then there were people lined up outside just hoping. I guess they started letting other people in as people were leaving. Things like that. And then
during the show, people were leaving?
Well, it was like a 2.5 hour show. Yeah. 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Maybe almost 3 hours. But people were really mad because they waited online to get into Irving Plaza and they didn't have a shot of getting inside. So then people were tweeting, like, it's not fair for us real fans. Radio people get to go and we don't.
Well, Travis was saying that they said nobody could line up until 3 o'clock.
Right.
And then people lined up anyway, because who cares? And then apparently they were giving out wristbands at like 1 o'clock.
Oh.
And so people showed up at 3 o'clock when they were supposed to, and all the wristbands were
It was
on.
too late.
Somebody went on my wall on Instagram and was complaining about it. I thought wasn't sure if he meant me, like, not know how to treat their fans and whatever. It was the picture of me and the Foo Fighters, so he commented.
Right.
So I'm like, what the fuck did I do to this guy? Like, I thought maybe he tried to get in and had an thing with Kenny.
Right.
And it turns out it was at the Foo Fighters show.
I mean, radio people are important to some of these bands. Maybe not the Foo Fighters anymore, but we were certainly there in the early years.
Yeah.
For Dave Grohl when, he needed people to pump up his new band. I don't know.
The radio guys...
they kind of make a good point.
Well, no, you're a celebrity and you deserve treatment a little better than the average person.
We are just handed tickets from time to time.
Time to time? When was the last time you paid to go to a concert?
The radio guys are the ones you should give the tickets to. Because they're the ones taking care of you and playing your shit. It's when it's when the managers and agents and all of them have a bunch of people that want to come that it gets to sucky. The on-air people are the ones playing your music.
Well, there were a lot of industry people at this show. A lot. Because, Sonic Highways is finally done. The New York episode was so damn good. God, I love that whole series. I hope they do a second season. I think they can figure something out. They can't make another album that way. That would be nuts. But there's just too much there. I would assume HBO's in talks with Dave Grohl to do another one, right?
You have another band go around and Grohl still could narrate it.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. Yeah, I guess they could do it that way. Or maybe they could just twist it up a little bit and just talk about great live venues, and then maybe that's why they're in these cities. I don't know.
Or they do a cover of one of those. They do something where they do a cover of one of those. Maybe they could put out an album of covers or something kind of cool like that.
There's no way HBO is going to allow that series to just die after one season. There's no way. I bet you they're in a boardroom or just trying to figure out how they keep that show going.
I want to do something similar to Sonic Highways, but not for music, because I'm not a musician, but for pop locking. I want to go from city to city and do like break dancing and pop locking, and then at the end I get some guys up and we do like this whole improvised dance. That's what I want to do.
That would be
really hot.
How many shows you think you could
40.
do?
I think 40.
40 shows.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 40. It's called A Month of Dance.
Really?
On HBO.
But Dave Grohl, he said it took him a year to put this whole show together. So how long is it going to take to film 40 shows?
It's a quick turnaround. We shoot and air the same night.
What? Really?
Yeah. Very busy. It's a crazy schedule.
You better have a great editor.
Absolutely. Yeah, shoot.
Someone's going to pull their hair out trying to edit that shit so
that'd
quickly.
be great. I'm very good.
Yeah, it probably will be so good that there's not going to be a lot that's going to hit the cutting room floor.
1 hour we shoot. A month of dance. HBO.
It's a 1 hour show.
That's right.
We'll shoot for an hour.
I do like the Tonight Show used to shoot in real time. Like you would shoot for exactly 60 minutes. They break for commercial. Like that's the way you shoot something.
Right.
Just do it. Fuck editing if you can help it. Just do it for as long as you need it, and then you're done.
Live to tape.
I got an observation because I don't go out on Friday nights too often. And it's going to make me sound very old.
I was just saying that already. It's like you headed
What's
in
the
that
observation?
The kids are really smoking pot these days. Holy fuck.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
Holy fuck. Pot is just extremely popular right now. I left my apartment and started walking up the hill toward the subways, and there were a bunch of kids just in kind of a doorway of this building, and I thought they were just sharing a cigarette. They were smoking pot. And then I smelled pot my whole night, not just in the venue, too. Walking across Union Square, pot. Getting out of the subway, pot. Getting into the subway, pot.
Then you realize you had it at your mustache.
Wow, people just don't give a fuck.
No, weed is big right now.
They're pretty much smoking it in plain sight, though.
Yeah.
We used to have to go off into a corner and put towels under the door and shit. Sam Roberts, they don't understand that.
Yeah, I guess it is weird. It's not really even looked at. Nobody really worries about it. Like it's like speeding.
I smelled it everywhere. I couldn't believe how many times I smelled pot within the course of the night.
Yeah, I mean that's what people do now.
It affects you one of two ways. You're either Joe Rogan pot, where you can go do jujitsu and have this amazingly productive podcast and life and create, or it's the other side, which makes you just a vegetable who sits on a rock and does nothing. Some people just can't. I was a person.
Can't function.
No, I admire guys like Rogan that maybe it's different pot they're smoking.
I don't know.
But he fucking takes a hit and then he goes and does jujitsu.
Right.
Who the fuck does that?
And then does an 8-hour podcast and then
Goes out and does a gig
and then
he's
flies and does a UFC event all in one day.
Yeah,
That's Joe Rogan. He's an animal.
It's amazing what a full life that guy leads. Like just doing stuff and camping and hunting and he makes pot sound pretty fucking good and going to the deprivation chamber and all
Did you
this
get the
stuff.
itch? Did you want to smoke?
No.
No, not really. If it was around, if someone offered, I probably would have taken a hit, but I'll take a hit here and there every once in a while, but I'm not all in.
You should have gotten Roland all fucked up.
Roland, who was too busy just taking a million pictures.
Did he bring his camera or was it on his phone?
On his phone. But he's blind. He can't see anything.
Is he blind? Is that what his problem is?
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know if that's the only one.
No, he's got emotional problems that are severe, but I
did-
didn't know his eyesight sucked.
Did we do the eye chart with him? I can't remember.
I believe years ago.
Years
we did,
ago.
But that's... we can
Roland needs
revisit.
glasses so bad. He can't. I'm amazed that because he does a very good job with his pictures on Instagram. I'm amazed he's able to pull it off.
Because he can't see?
Yeah, I don't know what he's looking at when he puts his camera up to take a picture of something. Pot is decriminalized in New York. That's why. No, we had the story. I get it, but people are now just fucking smoking it everywhere.
But it's not even the decrim. I mean, it's been like that for a little while.
Right.
People just not that serious a crime.
It's not. It's
Right.
speeding. It's a speeding ticket. It's
We have a almost there story. We're taking your almost there stories today on Opie and Jimmy. Jennifer in New York, what do you got?
Jen?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hi.
So actually, a good friend of mine from Syracuse, his father was actually signed John Lennon's death certificate. He was the intern on New York City that night, and they brought him in. And at first, they didn't know who they were working with, and then after the fact realized, but actually held John Lennon's heart in his hand. So it was pretty neat. They did a local story on him in Syracuse last year, I believe, but.
Did he take a selfie or anything, though, to prove that he had John Lennon's
I don't know. I think this
heart
was
in his hand?
Before the days of selfies, really.
You got my heart in your hand. That's a good fucking
I know.
song title.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, pretty neat. So I'm good friends with his son. So
How many times have you, let me ask you, I understand him telling the story, the guy, but how many times have you told the story? I'm friends with the son of the guy who held Lennon's heart.
Right.
I know it's a little bit of a stretch. I try not to brag about stories that far removed usually, but I don't know. I heard you guys talking about it, and this is my first time calling, so.
I'm friends with the guy who's in charge of the bleach on the sidewalk in front of the Dakota.
Right. Everybody has their almost stories, but.
Yeah, I got to go to Strawberry Fields today. I go every year and check out all those whack jobs. I'm probably one of the whack jobs if I go every year.
Yeah.
I kind of get, I sort of go there to make fun of it, and then I end up getting caught up in the
you wind up playing guitar and crying.
So there's another random piece to this story if you want another almost story connected with the same family.
Okay.
Tell.
The doctor's son was dating the previous Miss America, Nina, the one who just gave up her crown. So lots of random connections with this.
Wait, Nina, who gave up her
family.
crown?
I don't know. What did she do?
She didn't give it up. She didn't. I didn't mean she gave it up. She's just no longer Miss America.
It's a whole thing.
She just passed it on. It wasn't a controversy.
Yeah. No.
Gotcha.
No controversy.
It wasn't like a cunt lip fell out or something in the wrong in public. Oh, okay, no scandals. Great.
Wow, that's what you know when your Lennon story is not
bombing.
No, or when you've told it so many times you needed another piece of it. They're like, oh my God, that's right. There's another connection. He was also dating Miss America.
I'll try to dig myself out of this hole.
No, it's okay. It's your. I would probably tell the same story.
Yeah, you got a cute voice, so we left you on the line. What the hell? It's early.
Thanks.
I know the son of the guy who held Lennon's heart.
Right.
It sounds like your bosoms are nice and warm,
Heavy,
pillowy,
milk givers
on this cold New York day.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jennifer. Thank you.
Bye, Jen.
Yeah, right on. Let's. Someone was asking me if I wanted to see the Foo Fighters at Citi Field. Fuck yeah, we're all going to go to that one.
When
right?
is it?
That's in the summer.
Oh no, I thought it was you talking about this week. Cool. Yes, it would be.
On the TV, there's a new channel, or it's probably been around a while, that Palladia or Palladi, how do you say it?
Palladium?
I don't know if it's Palladium. I think it's Palladia or something. They just show, like, fucking live music. It's amazing. Is it called Palladia?
Palladia.
It's hard to find. I finally stumbled across it, and it just so happened it was the Foo Fighters playing Wembley. So what a great contrast, seeing them at Irving Plaza, and then yesterday I watched half their concert from Wembley.
I think I've seen that one actually, parts of it.
It's ridiculous how good it is and how well it's shot. And then you got John Paul Jones and Jimmy Page walking out on stage near the end, and also a sudden Taylor Hawkins, who Sammy likes. You like Taylor Hawkins, right?
I like Taylor Hawkins.
Not so much Pat Smear?
No.
You know, you fucked me up. I'm at Irving Plaza. I found myself staring at Pat Smear.
Were you annoyed?
He makes a lot of faces.
He does, right?
He's an incredible musician, but he really likes to pose and make a lot of faces.
But
cool faces, though.
if you weren't listening to the music, did you kind of have a vibe of like, oh, who invited that guy?
He has like fuck face, like like the faces you make when you're having sex.
Oh, I thought you meant like he looks like he's a fuck face, kind of.
No, I think he's a nice guy. We met him. He was
very
great.
lovely man.
He was wonderful to us.
Yeah.
But just you pointing that out kind of, threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think I'm right.
Anyway, so Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones come out at Wembley, and there's like 85,000, 87,000 people there. Taylor Hawkins decides, I'm sure they decided this in advance. He decides, I'm going to sing rock and roll, and Dave, you're going to go behind the drums and play drums on rock and roll. And holy fuck, was that amazing.
It was good?
Yeah, rock and roll, that's not an easy song to drum to, I don't think, or sing. And they just killed it.
What do you think Grohl wanted to play drums on it?
I'm sure, yeah. Dave Grohl likes to get behind the kit every once in a while and show his skills. But wow, did they pull it off. And then the one mistake they made, it looked like Dave Grohl started kind of tearing up. He was caught up in the emotions of playing at Wembley and 85, 86,000.
Those two?
And then you have some of the Zeppelin guys coming out. And then they cut to like crowd shots just as he was kind of losing it on stage. I'm like, man, they should have just sat in that moment for a little longer.
He might have told him to cut that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In post, he's like, oh, look, I'm a blubbering idiot. Could you show the crowd instead?
Yeah, no no rock star wants to be seen blubbering playing a fucking Zeppelin song. That was probably his call.
In front of Jimmy Page, though, you got to respect that, right? I know
Yeah.
you're not a big Zeppelin fan, but if Zeppelin comes out and plays a couple guys from Zeppelin come out and play a song with you, that's pretty cool.
I watched Jimmy Page when he was interviewed here, and you know, first of all, he seems like a lovely man, as they say. He was a great talker, and he seemed like a nice guy. But yeah, you can't not get caught up in who you're. The guy's still a great guitar player, whether you
Right.
you know, like stolen music or not.
Is that online, that rock and roll?
Check.
Maybe we could play it into break or something.
How about
That's
this?
cool.
Find it. The boss wants it.
Please. Please do. Rock and roll. Wembley. Yes. It's the only way to say that word, right? Sam.
That's it.
We can play it into break. We don't have to play it now.
Right.
You piece of shit.
Why are you calling
I'm telling you.
Or we can play it right now. Here, just push play in this.
Well, I don't want to be called a piece of shit is the only thing.
Why? What's your name?
Sam Roberts.
Oh, hi, Sam.
I say we let the audience vote on what your name is. There's some people out there that may disagree.
Mikey in Boston has something on Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters. Go ahead, Mikey.
Oh, no. Blackmail.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Very surprised that Boston's part of these protests. Proud of you. Proud of you stepping up for the protests. I know you guys are tormented inside with this one, but wow, you hit the streets.
Yeah, notice half of them are white. No, 90% of them are white. I didn't barely see any blacks in that protest.
Well, Eric Garner's mom said this is not a black.
His widow.
Oh, widow, sorry.
Yeah.
It's not a racial issue. It's not a black and white issue.
She said that he was killed wrongly, but she didn't think it was race.
And we have a shitty mayor in New York City. I'll tell you why he's a shitty mayor. As the mayor of New York City, you can't throw your whole police force under the bus like that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stories about this going around today, man. What was the one quote? Hold on, Mike. Sorry.
This is not the one about him telling his son to be careful.
Oh yeah, no. He said that he gave a speech to Dante that you got to watch out for cops in New York City.
By the way, which ones? The ones that are guarding him and his family all the time?
Exactly.
Are those the cops you got to watch out for? The ones that walk around you and your wife and your kids? How about you get rid of them?
I would love to know how those guys feel that, because they have to protect de Blasio every day. After Mayor de Blasio said this, it's different for a white child. That's just the reality in this country. And he had to warn Dante to watch out for the cops. He may want to think about moving out of New York City. He just doesn't belong here. Ed Mullins, Union Big, says. And then he also said, you're a moron to the mayor. So this is going to get fucking ugly. You just can't do that as the mayor. You could work on the issue if you feel like there's an issue going on, but throwing your whole fucking police force under the bus like that, that's not good for a fucking city.
He's a
I'll
scumbag.
tell you right now.
The guy's a scumbag. He really is.
Granted, we all know he leans, hardcore left, but that's a brutal thing to do if you're the mayor.
Then why are they protecting you? Like, literally, why do you have them protecting you?
Right.
Why don't you pull them off and say you don't want these troopers or whoever it is? Because I think it is all cops around him. Mm-hmm. I guess they're fine for that. Fucking asshole.
Anyway, what do you got, Mikey?
Back in 2011, when the Foo Fighters played the Boston Garden, David mentioned he said he wanted a crowd reaction as to whether or not they wanted him to come back and play a small club like they did when they first toured in '95.
Right.
And then recently I read in a couple articles that Dave said he wants to redo that tour like '95 with Mike Watt, where they actually tour in a van and they hit all the same areas. They can't do all the same venues because the one they played in Boston was Avalon.
Oh, Avalon's gone.
Yeah, it's the House of Blues now.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know
In
the
Harvard.
tour that was back in '95. They toured with a guy named Mike Watt, and the Foo Fighters were the opening band. Mike Watt was the headliner, and the band that opened for the Foo Fighters was a band called Hovercraft, and that was at the time Eddie Vedder's wife's band, and Eddie played drums in that band. Then the Foo Fighters played, and then when Mike Watt came on, it was Mike Watt, Pat Smear, Dave Grohl, and Eddie Vedder.
Wow.
That headlined the show. So that was back in '95 at the height of everything, and nobody knew who the Foo Fighters were.
So they want to do that again.
How cool would that be if they did that again 20 years later? There you go. There's your HBO show.
That's a great thing.
What I was saying, that would make a great show if they followed him. But he said he wanted to do it around the same time
Right.
and do it on the actual 20th anniversary. But I haven't gone back and checked their tour schedule. But it looks like that month and a half or so when they toured in '95 is actually wide open.
HBO's not
knowing
going to.
Dave Grohl, he'd try to pull that off if he could.
And HBO's not going to let a hit show just go.
Right.
I will guarantee there's going to be some kind of second season. Thank you, Mike.
What a fun way to keep it alive if you're, as a musician, like you're hugely successful. It's like, ugh. And they kind of said that they just wanted to make the album making process different. And,
right.
You know, you can do arenas all year.
Right.
So go do something fun.
Yeah, something different.
That's what I tell myself I'm doing in comedy clubs. I'm keeping my roots, and that's just the only thing I can do.
I don't mean to laugh so hard.
Oh, no, you should.
Sorry.
See the laugh, or we're both going to just cry.
All right.
Futility of it.
What else on the Eric Garner situation? What else is going on? What are some of the headlines?
I don't know.
Some of the protests are getting ugly. I saw in Berkeley, California.
Of course. Of course.
Berkeley decided they got to
they're so righteous.
Pump up the protests a bit.
Sure.
They're doing die-ins here in New York City.
Oh, good.
And in other cities. I believe they fucked with traffic down there in Philadelphia after the football game last night. Right? That happened. And then you got protesters just going in and out of stores in Manhattan.
Are they ruining anything or no?
No.
Okay.
No, but I don't know. I think they got to pump it up a little bit. Right?
And then he said, de Blasio also said, I have immense respect for the men and women who protect us.
Yeah, that's he's backtracking a little bit.
You could be against the decision and against a cop that uses too much force, but he's just not a pro-cop mayor. That's all there is to it.
No, and he could work on. He certainly could work for change without, throwing the whole police department under the bus.
Yeah. How about you do what you said you're going to do and get rid of the fucking horses in Central Park so I'm not driving down 9th Avenue almost killing a fucking four-legged animal.
It happened again?
No, I'm constantly in traffic behind a horse. Tired of it.
And then the whole police department has to be retrained now? How about you retrain the guys that were on the Eric Garner situation?
Yeah. How about you?
Everyone has to be retrained now?
And how about citizens are also told during this retraining that you don't resist? You know what I mean? Even if you think the cop is wrong, you still shouldn't resist.
Right. And then there's another case where the family's telling Sharpton to stay away. It's about time someone told Sharpton to stay away with his nonsense. The family of police shooting victim, sorry if I get the name wrong.
Akai
Gurley had a message on Friday for the Reverend Al Sharpton. Keep your circus away from his funeral. Bravo to this family.
Yeah.
The blowhard opportunist muscled his way into the arrangements and even put out press releases promising to deliver the eulogy without ever consulting the family or offering to foot the bill. But Gurley's relatives told Sharpton to stay away rather than turn the somber ceremonies into a spectacle.
Sam's relatives said that? See, because you're Gurley, Sam.
It's been a nightmare, Gurley's aunt Hortensia.
Yeah,
Hortensia. Peterson told the Post.
Otto's wife.
Otto. He just wants to take credit for this when he's never even contacted my sister. Who made you the spokesperson of our family? We just want to bury our nephew with dignity and respect. Good for this family.
Wow,
this is what Sharpton does, I guess. He just he swoops in without even talking to the family
He
at times.
assumes that all black people with something like this will want him.
Right. Peterson was stunned that Sharpton and his National Action Network billed him as the eulogist for a Friday funeral when they were planning on a Saturday service and wanted a speaker who actually knew Gurley.
Good.
How could you do a eulogy for someone you don't even know? It's heartbreaking, she said. By late Friday, Sharpton accepted a rare defeat and backed off, though he blamed it on confusion and division with the Gurley family. He said he would not attend Saturday's memorial in Brooklyn or the wake. Gurley, 28, was shot and killed on November 20th at Brooklyn's Lewis Pink houses by rookie cop Peter Liang, who fired blindly into the darkness of an unlit stairwell. Wow, Jesus. Liang, who had been on patrol at the East New York housing project, told officers it was an accident. Wow.
Why would he fire into the fucking dark?
I don't fucking know.
That's so great. They said there's no piece of the pie for Mr. Sharpton here.
Right. No blueberry pie on this one?
Good for them. I didn't realize he did that without family. I guess someone in the family called him. It was probably a brother's wife or a sister's husband or one of those, distant family members called him. And he said yes, and then the rest of the family was like, fuck you.
Respect for the family to tell Sharpton to stay away. Let's see. This lady wants to talk about the protests in Amityville. Yeah, I guess these protests are happening everywhere, but they're not all getting coverage. Yes, E-Rock.
They're organizing a 1 million man march for Saturday here in the city.
Oh, good, perfect.
But they never get 1 million people. That's what's so frustrating about those things.
Where are they going to march?
Yeah.
It starts at Washington Square Park, but
I
there's no
love
route
the
yet.
park. I has nothing. I enjoy a good day in the park. And then where's it ending?
Yeah, where's it ending?
The route hasn't been posted, just where it's starting and what time.
Maybe they just mark around. They're not going to fit 1 million people.
They're not going to get 1 million people.
And why?
E-Rock.
Well, that's what they're promoting. It's in all their
well, how dare you?
Flyers and their online
how dare
banners.
you to bring this to our attention, knowing that there's no way they're going to get 1 million people?
I'm going to be there as an event organizer.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up with a bullhorn and just start giving like wrong directions. You know, we're going to run in circles around the park until we're tired. What?
You know, I don't know what to make of this. I really don't. And I'm getting some shit about that. Because I haven't committed. Well, I'm sorry I haven't committed. I don't. If there's this many people protesting, I'm trying to figure it all out like anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of it. I just know I'll never be killed by a cop because I just don't want to deal with the hassle that is if you talk back to them or resist arrest, all that shit. I just wouldn't do any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. I'm kind of like sometimes
you're never going to win against the cops.
Never.
I keep going back to that point.
Never. You can't blindly, if you're black and you automatically think the cops are always at fault, it's a problem. And if you're a cop and you automatically defend a cop for no reason, then it's a problem.
Right. The answer always seems to lie in the middle somewhere. I know it's kind of hack to say, but I truly believe that. I mean, all you have to do is you listen to these, cable news channels, and they just blah, 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 and they don't even listen to each other. How about you go, like I think you said a while ago on this show, it would be so refreshing if one of these channels, someone went blah, 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 and the other person went, well, that's not a bad point you're making there. But then he goes blah, 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 and then they go, oh, wow, that's pretty interesting as well. They never listen to each other.
I thought that thought came to me watching Howard Dean, this asshole that he is. I forget what he was trying to defend, but it had something to do with someone who was fired and whatever it was. But it was they had him he was just wrong. Like in the order of things, like a woman hadn't said something or there was video of her not saying something, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And this fucking asshole wouldn't just go, oh, all right, I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he's not the only guy. I mean, every one of them does it.
Right.
But that was the one that made me think, because it was such an obvious, you usually don't see such an obvious showing of this guy is wrong.
Right.
Because he thought this woman didn't say something, and then they show her saying it or whatever it was. And he just wouldn't reverse himself and go, oh, I didn't realize that. No one wants to do that.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to just go, I made a mistake, or hey, that's a pretty good point.
Just say, hey, that's a pretty good point. Doesn't mean I completely agree with your stance, but as we argue this, you're making a pretty good point right there.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? But no one does that.
No.
In your own life, you don't do that. No one likes to, admit when they're in an argument or something that, oh, all right, you're making a good point there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll consider that. Right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because it's an admission of defeat.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other person gets that full head of steam and their momentum going.
And then they steamroll over you.
Yeah.
Oh, the other point I did want to make about the protesters, I do believe there's a large number of people that don't really believe in the cause, but are really just getting caught up in the hashtag and getting caught up in the fact that they could just move as one through the city and, enjoy the views. Right?
Yeah.
Because you get to walk wherever the fuck you want. That's got to be kind of cool.
People want stories. As we just saw from my Harrisburg trip, what'd you do? I went to the gym and ate pretzels.
Yeah.
That was my weekend. If there was a protest going on, I would have a much better story to come in here for. It was fucking crazy.
Uh-huh.
We walked against traffic. People were beating on cars. I threw a Molotov cocktail. A cop hit me. It'd be a whole thing.
The protests were way down in New York City because we had a shitty weekend weather-wise.
Yeah, it's cold.
It was cold and windy yesterday. It was really rainy on Saturday. And the numbers were drastically down. If you really believed in your cause, you would fucking say, fuck, I don't care about the weather. I got to get out there and keep pushing this issue.
Isn't that what slowed them down in Missouri? Too, they got snow?
Yeah, I think so.
In St. Louis or in Ferguson?
What do you think of the percentage of people are not for the cause? I was just going to throw a dumb number out there, which means nothing, but I was going to say I would bet you at least half. Yeah. At least half of the people are just getting caught up in, the hashtag and the problem at the moment.
Being a part of something that's happening at the moment, being a part of an event. Yeah, I think so, sure. It's a big thing, and people want to say I was there.
Let me know if they go to the top of the Empire State Building, Sam.
Okay.
If the protesters go to the top of the Empire State Building, I'm there, because it's really hard to get up there. Sometimes it's hours you have to wait.
You have to go up the sides.
I'll do that. I'll be part of the protest if we get to go to the top of the Empire State Building.
So you're more like there could be some cool views associated with the protest.
Yeah, I almost walked across the Brooklyn Bridge because I did it once during the summer. It was awesome. You could walk across.
Yeah.
But they walked where the traffic is. I wanted to do that.
I guarantee you.
I almost jumped on a subway just to do that.
So they can tell people. We walked across the middle of the bridge, and they want a story.
And everyone wants publicity for their Instagrams and their Facebooks and their Twitter. So, of course, you're now on the Brooklyn Bridge taking your selfies. It's great.
You should have run downstairs and jumped on the West Side Highway when they were out there.
I know.
It wasn't. We came down. We were walking back from Chris
it.
Rock's thing. It was the traffic was flowing.
Yeah,
we were going to run over there.
I just missed it.
Heck no, we won't go. Just really bad protest logos.
That's the tease so much.
Don't choke people. It's not nice.
Lisa on Long Island.
It's a little sing-songy.
Yeah.
She wants to talk about the protests in Amityville.
Hey, guys.
Oh, boy.
I was in that house.
Yesterday, they
Fucking
had
demons.
A protest scheduled in Amityville, which was happening right in front of my son's school when they were having bagels with Santa.
Fucking devil.
When we left, I was kind of annoyed that it was happening right there because we got caught up in the city Thursday night just trying to go see Santa in the city. So I was kind of thinking, really? It has come to my town, too? And, of course, there were some general crackheads out there blocking, but the Amityville police did a great job. And then the religious leaders were trying to heal the community. They weren't trying to do it like Sharpton's doing and making people angry. They were trying to calm them down.
Where was this?
Right in the middle of town in Amityville.
Fuck yeah!
No, see, I live in Amityville too, but I live in South Amityville, and that was happening in North Amityville.
Fuck yeah!
Nice.
The devil was there.
It's a very, divided community. Racially, but we come together as a community.
Which community?
North?
In Amityville.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
All right, Lisa.
We spend a lot of time trying to heal it, and I was at first very angry that it was happening.
How about
at least the leaders are trying to?
How about I got the simple solution? You take a vote wherever the fuck you live. You get all your people together. You take a vote. Do you want cops in your neighborhood or not? And if you vote, we don't want you fuckers in our town, then the cops leave.
That would be a problem by us.
Well, I've always appreciated cops. They seem to make things a bit safer. And I never lived in. I didn't always live in good neighborhoods. By the way, I'm in radio. Half my career were in shitty neighborhoods.
Well, Lisa lives in a. Would you live in a bad area or no?
Where I am, no.
Where do you live again?
What part?
I live in South Amityville.
Fuck yeah! Home of the devil.
That's right. I live actually right near that house.
All right, we got a cops.
You ever been there?
What?
You ever go there and fucking hang out with them?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. What's up, Dev?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Dev. All right, Lisa. Thank you.
Boys, take care.
Yeah. Let me say hi to Samantha in New York. Samantha.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Opie, what you're saying about these people that are protesting just wanting to be part of a cause is totally true. My husband's in NYC. They're in a not great neighborhood in Manhattan. And
Upper West Side?
It's a predominantly black neighborhood. I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with the city, so I don't know.
Is it Hex Kitchen?
No.
Okay.
All right, continue.
But he said there was a group of nothing but hipsters in this predominantly black area. So, they radioed the sergeant. We got a group of protesters. The sergeant says, okay, follow them, I'll get back up. He said they went and stormed a housing project, and within 3 minutes, they were all being chased out and dispersed. Like, even the blacks don't want these people in their neighborhood.
Well, there's definitely fake protesters involved with this. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, if you believed in a cause, rain isn't going to stop you. And the numbers were way down, especially on Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll pick up again today, I bet.
Yeah. And as for the retraining of cops, apparently all it really is, hey, guys, don't put chokeholds on people at their, meetings before they go out on tour.
That's just insulting to all cops. Let's just say they didn't handle the situation right with Eric Garner. That doesn't mean every cop is a bad cop or a shitty cop at his job.
No, but you get one here and there. It's just like any job. There's always going to be one or two crappy people around.
But to make a blanket statement that this is an epidemic and it's happened all over the place, it's just not that part of the story is just not true. It's just not true.
I know why the hipsters go to those neighborhoods, by the way.
Yeah?
Yes, they're protesting, but they're also looking for new places to gentrify. So they run into the projects. They're looking for little areas to move into under the guise of protesting.
How great! I mean, I love the bit, but
Yeah.
that's kind of smart if you think about it. Oh, we're safe today. We can check out some of these neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's okay to do.
All right. Thank you, Samantha.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Yeah, let's go to Tennessee and say hi to Scott. Scott.
Hey guys, I
Hey.
just want to touch on you with the guys who disappear, like when the weather gets bad.
Yeah.
So I was in Montana a few years back when they had the whole Occupy Wall Street, Occupy Montana, all that bullshit was going on.
Sure.
Everybody was up in arms for like 3 or 4 days, and the weather dropped down to like -14 overnight. There wasn't a soul to be found.
There you go.
Well, it's kind of hard.
They basically said that here in New York. They said, I mean, I think they broke it up before, but they said, look, when the weather changes, most of these people are going to leave. Yep. They're just not going to sit here anymore. They're not going to handle the cold weather too well. All right, Scott, thank you.
Thanks, fellas.
We have a couple of black guests today, which will be very helpful in discussing this.
Yeah, we got Sherrod Small coming in. We'll get his perspective on this. I'm sure he's talking about it.
Yes.
Considering his podcast with Kurt Metzger is called Race Wars.
Yep.
So he'll have a few opinions on this.
I think that's about running, though.
and I'll admit, I don't understand the black perspective on this. I don't. Do you, Jimmy?
I do, yeah. But again, it was all being a part of a dance group in the '80s where I was welcomed into that community.
What was the dance group called?
It's not important right now.
You sure?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a normal question, I feel like.
Yeah, the dancing honky tonks.
The dancing honky.
It was mainly black?
No, it was like it was white.
Oh, all right.
Honky.
Yeah.
But then who was inviting you into their community?
We were so good.
Oh, the other black groups wouldn't allow you honky tonks to.
Yeah, the dancing honky tonks to come in and do our routines.
Sounds horrible.
No, we were very good.
That's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
That's cool.
Anyway, we're going to take a break, but people are now calling about this Eric Garner thing and I Can't Breathe and all that shit. So we'll take more of your phone calls. Sherrod Small's going to join the program. Chris Rock a little later. Chris Rock is talking about some racial issues as he promotes this new movie, Top 5.
Oh, yeah.
I read the Vulture article. He's got a lot to say. So maybe he'll say some of those things on our show today. Who knows? Sam, I did not forget. Foo Fighters, Wembley, rock and roll. I'm telling you, search out the video. The video of this is so amazing because you can see that Dave Grohl in the end is just a regular guy that appreciates the people that came before him. And, when he saw Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones walk out on stage, even though, he knew that was going to happen, he was overcome with emotion. And, man, this version of rock and roll was just fucking fun to listen to.
And what about our friend joining the UFC over the weekend?
We're talking about that.
I was ready.
It's not you.
We're going to talk about that. And Eaten Alive.
Oh, although somebody's tweet made a bunch of websites.
Yeah, I got to go one out yesterday after that. But Eaten Alive was a busteroo. Boy, was that a busteroo.
I heard it was great.
You did?
Yes.
Removed.
The guy who was here.
Oh,
it was
great.
It was a busteroo. As a regular show, if you were just, kind of bored on a Sunday and you saw it on Discovery that this guy's searching for anacondas in the floating forests in the Amazon, it was good on that level, I guess. But they hyped this up like
this was supposed to be the next like Nick Walendis type special.
Right. And boy, was it a busteroo in the end. If you saw Eaten Alive, please give us a call to discuss that. But first, the Foo Fighters from Wembley doing rock and roll with Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones. Good old Taylor Hawkins, the drummer of the Foo Fighters, on vocals for this.
Hey, I was on my way to that show at the El Rosa Villa. My buddy was getting off work late, and we were running late to the show, and we missed it probably maybe by 10, 15 minutes, man. It was absolutely insanity that night.
Dimebag Darrell. So you were almost there.
Almost there, man. We was almost there.
I'm not a big fan of the almost there stories.
Yeah,
I know, but
everyone has the I was almost there story.
Yeah. I was almost a blowjob, sir. Thank God. Get it?
Yeah, you're right. It was just like I was right there, but it was still one of those days that we still talk about it all the time around here.
Sure, I would imagine you would. All right, thank you, Eric. I appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Allegedly.
So that's two.
Allegedly.
It's the John Lennon anniversary. Is it okay to call it the anniversary? People have problems with that as well.
Sure.
All right. I mean, not every anniversary is a good anniversary, right?
Yeah, it's not like we're playing thematic, fun music for it.
Sure. John Lennon, 34 years ago today. Dimebag Darrell, 10 years ago today.
I didn't realize they were on the same fucking day.
Yeah, well, and we got a third one. The good old Hell's Angels with the Rolling Stones. 4 people dying, including one stabbed by a Hell's Angel. That was 40. Yeah, that was 45 years ago. 45 years ago. Wow.
But the weird thing is, I wonder if there's something about this time. This time of year is kind of depressing and shitty for people, so I wonder if that's why they snap more.
I don't know.
That's weird. Two big guys on the same day.
And then the Rolling Stones thing as well. That's 3 huge things on one day.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, now that's a cover right there, huh?
Yeah.
Pantera, Cat Scratch Fever. It's a big day for the Pantera fans. Big day. It was 10 years ago. Dimebag Darrell died on stage, murdered on stage 10 years ago today. And I was trying to pick a Pantera song, and I'm like, man, we're going to just scare people. Not everyone that listens to us understands Pantera.
Yeah, it's a little heavy.
So you got to kind of try to find something that maybe, you know, a bunch of people would appreciate. I don't know. So
I play that on my Boneyard show a lot. I love that. I like a good cover.
Yeah.
I typically like covers that girls sing. My ex still attacks me for being such a fucking emo lesbian that I am. I like a good fucking a good acoustic girl covering a song. I'm really
like
the worst.
What? You got an example?
There was one cover, and literally this almost got me fucking drummed out of my relationship years ago.
Yeah.
I loved this cover of Umbrella that this other girl did. I forgot what her name was.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of humiliating to admit.
Do we know who?
I don't remember the name, no.
I don't mind the I don't
like
mind
the Sabbath covers.
Let's see.
I don't even remember. No, it's been years.
She's got 21 million views on that one.
Is it Mandy Moore?
Wasn't Mandy, no.
Okay.
No.
Do you know anyone that covered Umbrella?
This was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be this one.
Which one?
This one, just because it's a girl with an acoustic guitar and it's got 21 million views.
It was Maria Digby. Is that the person's name?
What?
Yeah, it is. That's her.
Well, let me hear
I
this.
think you just
it was a fake name.
No, I think you said it was someone else.
No, I just said it was a girl.
Oh, I think you said Mandy Moore.
No,
you were joking? Okay.
I wasn't joking.
No,
she did
because
it
that's
as
the next one
well.
down.
Click the thing.
She only got 6 million.
This is not the video, though.
This is 22 million views she got for
Yeah, but
this.
this is not
Marie Digby, though.
Yeah, but this is not the one. I'm telling you. No, this is not it because she's sitting in front of a couch.
We went from Pantera to this?
Yeah, we have to play it. I'm just saying what a fruit I am. I think everybody knows that.
Was this the version, though?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. No, this is gay. This is gay. I like a much better version. I had better acoustic quality. I'm trying to talk over it. This reminds me of our friendships in the studio.
Right. If she was ugly, she would have half those views. You know that, right? Okay.
Yeah, she's quite pretty. As she sings that she should open her giant pussy flaps. Cool it up, Jim. I just wanted to toughen that version up a little.
I guess I don't mind the original.
Yeah, I like the original.
Like I said, I'm a faggot for a pop song from time to time.
Yeah.
Those damn things could be catchy, right?
Yeah, like a toe tapper's nice.
But Pantera, there you go.
10 years ago, shot.
10 years ago. on stage by a fan, right?
Yeah, the guy was an obsessed. I think he blamed Dimebag for the breakup or for them not getting back because he was in Damage Plan at the time.
Okay. And that was a good band.
A really good band, yeah.
He was doing well with that.
And they were, you know, this, I forget the guy's name. I think he was an I want to say he was an ex-Marine. It was in Ohio. And I don't have any of the stuff in front of me.
Right.
But a real piece of shit. Just a real, you know, of course, we all know he's...
Jerk.
Yeah. This guy's knocked the cat's meow. Easy, Paul.
Do we have the clip? Let's hear the clip.
So sad that, you know, I wasn't going to see him again and we weren't going to hang up. And, you know, for me, the biggest thing was that the guy who took his life, the phrase kept coming in my head, jerk of all jerks. It was just like, this is just a jerk. This is not even a guy politically motivated. It's just some total random thing. I go, hey, Pop.
Just to damage the broken person.
You know, yeah. So, yeah.
You know, oh, God. Paul
Terrible.
McCartney.
First of all, you learned how to say all these amazing things in love songs,
right.
and you're
right.
such a beautiful creator with the language, and that's the best you can come up with.
Just call him a jerk.
Oh my God, this guy wrote Yesterday.
Right, and that's all he could come up with for John Lennon.
Yeah, Let It Be.
John Lennon's killer. The jerk of all jerks.
Oh, he's the jerk. He's a bit of an asshat.
Yeah,
terrible.
It really isn't
what a
good.
Terrible insult. How about the guy's human garbage? Or, you know what I mean? He's scum. It's just something that has some fucking bite to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
jerk.
I don't think jerk does it. Unless maybe in their country it's... No? Probably not.
No, even in England.
Even in England, it's not that powerful.
It's just soft.
You sound kind of wimpy when you say, you're a jerk.
Kind of wimpy, yeah.
Let's say hi to Eric in Ohio. Eric. Let's go, Eric. No?
Hey, what's up, Bob?
Hey, man.
Mentally ill.
Of course. Make it about yourself,
yeah.
right?
And he shot him. And I think he was killed by security. I don't know if cops killed him or not, but he was killed on the scene.
It's a big day in music as far as that shit goes.
Oh, yeah.
Today's the Lennon Day, too.
Yeah, the worst insult ever?
Yeah, Paul McCartney, he hasn't spoke up about this much over the years, but basically he's calling him a jerk. That's all he could say? That he's a jerk for what he did? What's the exact quote?
The jerk of all jerks.
The jerk of all jerks.
Do you have the video of that? He was in Jonathan Ross, and that's a huge show in England. And he's actually a really good talk show host. I've gone on and watched like interviews he's done.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Paul McCartney has called John Lennon's killer, Mark Chapman, the jerk of all jerks. Speaking on a British television show, we're finding that now. The former Beatle also said he felt very lucky to have repaired the rift between him and Lennon before Lennon was gunned down outside the New York apartment 34 years ago today. Speaking on the Jonathan Ross show, McCartney said, Chapman, the phrase kept coming into my head, the jerk of all jerks. It was just like, this is just a jerk. This is not even a politically a guide, I guess it should say. Okay, hold on. This is just a jerk. This is not even a guy, it should say. Okay, politically motivated. It's just some total random thing.
But to call someone a jerk, like that, is that the best you can do? He gunned down Lennon?
Yeah, your writing partner.
Yeah.
And you guys fucking wrote a few tunes, a few ditties.
This guy's not A-okay with me.
Right.
Easy, Paul.
He's a jerk.
Language restrictions.
He's a jerk.